Hello. Well, I've had the pleasure of working with my Sunday school group online since we went into the first lockdown March last year. So what have I learnt? Well, very early on I learnt that even the youngest in my group, who is 6, are often more tech savvy than I was, and they began changing my name on the screen to cheeky silly names, and one boy would constantly take over my screen and mute me. So I got my settings right straight away after week 1. We set up the online room with all the settings to enable the group to thrive online and fully participate whilst helping behaviours. We made the decision to not do anything online that we wouldn't do face to face. There's a real danger when you're online that you get carried away and feel the need to control the space, and we would try to uphold our principles and our values online too. So for example, in our group we wouldn't mute a child face to face, we wouldn't mute them. So no one is muted on entry, and we only have muted a child if there are things happening in their space that the group don't need to hear. So really it's about the needs of the child. We've learnt to be prepared and be seen to be ready, which really values the children and their time being there, just like we would face to face. I'm fully dressed and from the waist down also, and I'm valuing their time. We always work in pairs online, one leading elements of the session, the other one chatting away on the chat bar. There's multiple conversations often happening, just like we are when we're in a room together. My colleague is checking in privately with children who are not seeing themselves or seem to be struggling with the session. That's a great use of the chat bar. We do save all that chat as part of our safeguarding, and you must follow your own safeguarding policies when you're online. We often have a young person co-host in the room. They welcome people in from the waiting room and sometimes add helpful comments or questions in the chat throughout the session. So if I'm posing a wondering question, often my young leader will be writing that in the chat at the same time. Screens are kept on because it's important to see each other and be very much in that space together. As time went on, children did take on other roles as well, like sharing the story, and they prepared stories in Lego that they were going to share with us, or praying for the group, or leading the craft. Anything's possible, and they've got their families often there to support them. We asked the families what they wanted in the sessions and what was helpful to them at the moment. And so we did a session each week since that very first week in lockdown with a routine that has a general catch-up time, chatting because they're not seeing each other necessarily, then lots of Zoom games, followed by that Bible input and that wandering together, often followed by something creative like craft or creative prayer or even cooking, which has become a big hit on our Zoom. We've noticed that the whole family are joining in, and parents have said that they've learned a lot from watching us about how to engage with children in spiritual activities. It wasn't planned, but it seems to have become a time for families to explore together. And sometimes we'll even give them a family challenge for the week, something to show and tell when we meet. We meet for an hour and we keep it as engaging as possible. No passive watching going on. Fully engaged, interactive, it's busy and it's noisy. I took the decision, as I was fully working from home, that I would commit to every Sunday. We normally would be on a rota, but we felt our children needed an element of consistency in a very changing situation. The co-leader is often on a rota, but I'm there every week. So it's also about being kind to our teams at the moment. So the games, go fetch games, go and fetch 10 items on the theme, brilliant. Running around the house, bring it back to the screen, building things together. One of their favourites is hunt for Jesus. Can they find Jesus every week? He is hidden in here right now. Just over my shoulder there by the picture. Hide and seek, musical bumps, quizzes where you slowly go under the water if you get the answers wrong. Grandma's footsteps. 1, 2, 3, get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to the screen, and then I have to tap the screen, tap their faces before they can run. Using the screen to share whiteboards for Hangman or Pictionary. It's been an adventure. One child asked whether we thought Guess Who might work on screen, so we figured it out together, and it's now one of their favourite games. Everyone dressing up to make the most of Guess Who on screen. Are you wearing a hat? Where am I? Go and hide somewhere with your device in your house, and we all have to guess where you are. Are you in the broom cupboard? Are you under your bed? Are you in the bath? It's brilliant. And the story, reading and sharing together in the moment on our screens, perhaps using share screen to show videos. Use what's already there, so their names are all on the bottom of their screen, on their image. And when we were looking at Saul to Paul, everybody spent the whole session renaming themselves with things about them and their personalities. Use breakout spaces to explore if you've got a lot of children or wide age ranges. You can go really specific, but they all need to be on individual devices to do that. You can take laptops and tablets anywhere, so perhaps have a picnic, go outside, be together. For our group, the only thing that hasn't worked is worshipping together online with song. So we do use music, but we use it more reflectively during prayer or when they're busy doing things. We do miss singing together. Be reactive to current situations and don't worry too much about curriculum. What are the children needing this half term? What's going on in their lives? So how can we be inclusive? Do they need tech equipment dropping off to their homes? Can the church provide that? We hand delivered a pack with everything they need each half term to take the pressure off the parents providing everything. Our parents asked for it to be on a Sunday at 4, and we've had invite a friend sessions, so there's a little bit of outreach going on there as well. We've seen some amazing things come out of being online. I have a very large group, 48 in my group, and we're part of a large church of 500. And for the first time, I know every child's name. I know details about them, what they like, what they don't like, and more importantly, I know who they belong to. I know what families they're part of because I can see them in their home every week. One child who barely spoke when we were in face-to-face work is now fully engaged, and it's good to hear her voice. One boy with autism has struggled in our large hall with all the children, but has flourished on Zoom. We write to them monthly by hand. We make ourselves available to them. I have had a few one-to-one Zoom calls with children who've needed to talk things through. And we've added a family page on our website and Facebook pages to help them keep in touch in between sessions. So, to close, what are the most important values and principles in your work, and how can you uphold them in an online space? What does the group want online? Don't try to simply reproduce your face-to-face sessions. Be creative, take risks, have fun. Communicate. The children will tell you what works and what doesn't. So what have we been doing differently that we want to keep doing online or face-to-face? What have we put down, not done over this last year, that we want to pick up again or not? How can we develop things further? What is God calling us to do with the children we're called to work with? And how are we making digital disciples and enabling children to genuinely explore, experience and express their ideas and faith, and doing it all online? Thank you.